So I guess the biggest thing we've all read about is you're now on the police board.
Yes.
So tell us about that and why you applied and what you would like to do on the police board as the voice of the city.
Well, for 4 years, a lot of the things were dealing with issues in my ward that were tied to safety and security. So whether it be simple things like petty crimes that were higher in the downtown, or the rise of the opioid epidemic that then had secondary and tertiary impacts on things like petty theft and things like that. Probably half of the calls I get on a daily basis are related in some ways to police matters. And so I've been working closely with police over the last two and a half years, dealing with a lot of the issues in the core. We've seen a spike in calls over the last couple of years. Last year, I believe 85% of the calls for service happened in a portion of downtown. So 85% of the calls going through to the police are happening in a portion, probably a third of my ward. So, wow. And it isn't just because it's in my ward I want to deal with it, no. But it's because I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with the police. I'm familiar with the processes. I'm familiar with all the different tactical approaches they've taken when they made changes. I've gone on ride-alongs on Friday nights. I've been involved, and so when the opportunity came up after this term with the new term of council, I felt that it would be a good position for myself to be in, especially when you take it in the context of all the things that are going on at the Police Services Board and with the Windsor Police Service, with the new chief incoming, the different investigations that are going on, I felt it was a good time for change.
Okay. And what will be your voice on the board? You've said you're going to ask hard questions. Now, we know you do ask those hard questions. What would be so different about your style on the police board than what we've seen on council?
There won't be really much a different style. It's just that I don't feel that, I mean, the board is a lot smaller, but I don't feel that I would have to be quiet or respectful of sort of the status quo. I think that we're looking at, for example, bringing in a new chief when we're interviewing for those on the job for new chief. Looking for progressive ideas, looking for different ways of policing, looking for different approaches to things like carrying the lock zone and community policing. So those types of ideas are things that I've been working on for years now, and seen what other communities have done. You look at other communities across the province, and they've implemented a lot of these things. We can do that as well, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be pushing for those types of things. So I will personally be pushing for more progressive ideas and more progressive ways of policing.